Hi guys, and welcome to the My Inner Sim channel. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of the Luxury Diamond Bungalow. If you haven't already checked out part 1, then the link is in the description, so you can check that out first if you'd like. This video is going to be focusing on the exterior and also just a few tweaks inside the house. A few colour changes that I wasn't quite happy with, and also I placed all the rugs which I had mentioned in part 1 I had forgotten to place. I'm just currently placing the terrain paint now. I kind of wish the terrain paint, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I wish the terrain paint would stop at the fence. I kind of wish they'd put in that feature, but never mind. I did just go around and tidy it up a little as best I could, but each time I tried to do it, I just created a little bit more mess. So I did kind of give up in the end. I've placed a swimming pool in the back. I really wanted a pool in here, of course, with the building being a diagonal shape. It has created a bit of an odd shaped pool, but I kind of like it. It's quite a nice little feature, and just in the top triangulated corner, I just kind of place a little fountain. You know, your sim's not going to swim there, but I thought it just might have a nice little feature. I'm currently placing some sun loungers, which are actually custom content. I've forgotten the name of them. I think it was the Lunar lounge chair or something like that, but I will link it in the description to them so you can download them. It was on my oak alcove build that I did, where I was actually looking for some sun loungers, and someone kindly linked to the custom content versions, as there aren't actually any in the Sims 4 game, which is such a shame, but hey, I found some and I'm quite happy with them. I'm currently placing some items into the left hand side of the back garden. I've got a barbecue and a table, and I'm just creating a kind of little zen corner where I place a yoga mat. I tried a few different ways to kind of border this off, but it didn't really work very well. So in the end I kind of create a flower bed area with a little pebbly statue and what have you. So I noticed in my last video that the kitchen where I'd placed the kitchen cabinets on the wall, on the left hand side I'd moved them up to place some pans in, and of course I forgot to move the counters up on the right hand side as well, the cabinets, sorry, on the wall on the right hand side. So I have corrected that, as I will be uploading the house to the gallery. The only thing I noticed is when I was doing the tour at the end, after watching it back, the cabinets that I've pushed up to the top of the walls actually end up clipped inside the ceiling, so part of them are actually cut off, and I never realised before because I never really play with the walls up fully. It's only for screenshot's sake that I've ever really used that feature, so I've never noticed that before, so I will try and make them look a little bit nicer before I upload it to the gallery. Now I've changed the fences. I've gone for the hedge at the back and the wood panelled fence at the front. Did struggle to find a gate that matched, which was a little bit strange, but not so strange, as a lot of things in The Sims 4 do not match up. It just does seem to be a running theme. I'm placing the pavement at the front, and I actually forgot how to create the diagonal tile, and I had to tab out of the game and look it up. I mean, I had watched a video by, I think it was the Sim Supply again. I've watched quite a lot of his videos, and that it was in one of his videos that where I learnt how to do that. But of course, when I actually went to do it, I'd forgotten again. So I had to go check that out. I'm just placing some trees around. I don't actually keep these trees. As you'll see in the screenshot at the beginning, I changed them for some kind of shrubbery bush thing. They just looked a bit too dark, and I just wanted something a little bit less intrusive. I like this feature at the front that I've placed with the birds flying around the statue with the plants in between. I thought that was kind of cute. I do change the path in the end for some terrain paint. I just felt it looked a bit too I don't know how to say it, crisp, just too I don't know. It looks nicer with the terrain paint path. I must admit I don't like using the floor coverings outside. I'm just doing a little bit of terrain work here, making the garden look a little bit pretty. To the left of the garden I place in some topiary bushes. There's a cute little elephant and a llama and another one which I can't remember what that was, but I kind of like, I place a bench in and the elephant was nearby and I just accidentally kind of saw that the elephant's foot was the same height as the bench, so I did deliberately place the elephant's foot so it looks like he's resting on the bench, which is quite a cute little feature. I was quite pleased with that. Here I am changing the path. I tried a few different terrain paints for the paving to the front door and what have you, but I wasn't quite sure which one to use, and I did eventually find one. Not overly happy, would have liked something a bit nicer, but there's not much selection there for that. At the end of this video there will be a mini cinematic tour of the place. I opted to try that instead of screenshots like I did in my first video. It was something I'd seen in Megan Jo Sims videos and she kindly linked to a tutorial on it. It's been a bit of a work in progress. I'm not sure if I'm quite doing something wrong, but it just stutters every now and again when it moves fast. I used the easy in out settings and I'm just wondering whether I maybe should have used the linear. I will try that in future just to see if it helps. I'm not sure if it's maybe an issue with my computer or whether it just does have a bit of a lag issue in game. But overall it is pretty good and I love the way you can do a tour of the house with it, and it just looks a little bit nicer than screenshots, so that's cool. Can't wait for you guys to see it. The only thing I would do differently when doing the tour is I accidentally forgot to unpause the game. So of course fountains don't move and Sims aren't walking around the lots outside. So that is something I will take as a learning experience for next time. I also noticed that after changing the roof, which I do at some point soon, I forgot to add in the roof edging. Like I said earlier, all of these things I'm going to go back into game and just edit those before I upload it to the gallery. Once I upload this video to YouTube, I will be uploading this lot to the Sims 4 gallery for you to download if you wish. When I was creating the tour for the video, I realised when I was editing it that I'd accidentally missed out a scene, so I shot from one room to another without the transition in between. So I did have to recreate the tour, but thankfully I managed it quite well. I found the best way to do it is to create it all in one go, but of course it is quite hard because if you need to go back to a scene to record the next steps moving forward, you have to remember not to record over the last scene, which I did do a few times, and it took me several attempts to record, but I'm quite pleased with my progress in learning how to do that so far. I have to export the video to be able to preview it because of videopad's buffering issues. And it was when I was watching back a part where I edit the roof and place in a skylight over the bathroom, I noticed when adding in a few extra trees at the side, I accidentally placed one in mid-air. And the whole time I'm watching this preview back, I could see this tree floating in the air, and I'm just praying to myself that I delete it, and I do get rid of it. But I thought it was so funny. I can't believe the whole time that I was building the roof, which I'm actually doing now, and you can see the tree. I can't believe I didn't notice it, because it is staring me in the face, and now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. It is just there. So that's a little funny story for you. I saw to put in the glass dance floor as a skylight on one of Sim Supply's videos. As you will notice in my videos, I mention him a lot, but I have watched quite a few of his tutorials. He is brilliant. I find his videos so helpful, and if anyone is ever stuck with anything, the chances are he has a video on it relating to The Sims 4, and they are just really, really helpful and easy to follow. As you can see now, I am deleting a few of the room dividers. I changed the position of them a little bit because I didn't quite like where they were, but that is a much subtler feature. They did kind of look from a distance almost like bars on the window, but I just wanted to create something different, and that's something I've never done before, so I thought it looked quite nice, and it does look quite nice with just the two per wall. So I'm going to leave you here, guys. I'll be putting on some music for you to listen to for the rest of the video. I really hope that you enjoyed this part and that you did check out the first part of the video as well. I can't wait for you guys to see the tour at the end, and I really hope that you like it. I had great fun creating this build of the house and also learning how to use the cinematic camera. And yeah, so thank you for watching.